So something that happened over the weekend, which is absolutely terrifying, and it could have gone wrong in so many ways, but it went the best, I guess, as it could have, given the circumstances, and just with the current climate and what this government has made permissible, we could see attempts like this happen more and more frequently, and that is scary to me. And the biggest question I have is what happens when this happens to actual law enforcement? Because at this rate, it's just bound to. So we had a Houston homeowner shoot and kill two men in ski masks who turned up at home claiming to be cops. Yeah, like it's almost like everything that everyone was saying about having ICE agents unmasked, not showing warrants, not identifying themselves, just showing up in unmarked cars and abducting people. Like, hey, this is going to lead to people replicating that, people who are not law enforcement. Now, the actual law enforcement doing it, they're not really to be trusted either because they don't identify themselves and they're rounding people up with due process. But that's a whole nother subject. We'll focus on this story for today. From the Independent, Houston homeowner shoots and kills two men in ski masks who turned up at home claiming to be cops. And real quick, before we get into it, if you are new to the show, feel free to hit that subscribe button. It is completely free and it helps out a lot. I cover the news every single day, and I try to add additional context, dispel narratives, and point out hypocrisies. I'm not here to push you to one party or the other. I am simply here to push you to believe in actual common sense policies that will help the average American citizen. That is free universal health care, free higher public education, a livable minimum wage, and complete public infrastructure reform. Simple things like that sound radical in this country, but are just standard operating procedure in other countries. If you support that message, hit that subscribe button. If you don't, you can be a hate watcher. Go ahead. You can subscribe too. We can debate. We can call each other names in the comments. I don't care. Maybe I'll push you to a sane position someday. Anyways, a late night knock at the door turned deadly in Houston, Texas on Friday after gunfire broke out between a homeowner and two men in ski masks claiming to be cops. Both men were killed in a shooting that happened around 11 p.m. in the southeast of the city, according to the Houston Police Department. Police said the men told the homeowner they were serving a warrant. They were wearing bulletproof vests, had badges around their necks, and were wearing ski masks. Lieutenant Amber Khan told KHOU that the homeowner became suspicious because, they have a ring camera too, and the suspects were saying they had a warrant. But it was just two people and they're masked up and no police cars, no lights or anything like that, she added. And that's what we're seeing actual law enforcement do, which just makes this so much more murky and complicated. The masked suspects then shot a barrage of bullets through the door, prompting the homeowner to return fire. Lieutenant Khan said the two men were pronounced dead at the scene despite officers' CPR attempts. The homeowner was not injured. His wife and child were also inside the home during the incident, but police say they were rattled. Thankfully, no one else is hurt, she said. The suspects have not been publicly identified by police. Right now, we don't have ages on the suspects, Lieutenant Khan said at the press conference. They look to be younger, maybe at most in their 30s. Detective Kyle Stringer urged residents to know the signs of legitimate police presence. He explained that real police officers do not wear ski masks. It's not true. That's not true. I'm sorry, but it's not true anymore. Once upon a time, but not anymore. Obviously, a police car with some sort of lights and sirens and a bullhorn where we'll be announcing ourselves. He added to the list of things to look out for when verifying who is a police officer. So yeah, this is what happens when you start to add this kind of level of permissibility for your actual law enforcement to go around and just show up in unmarked cars wearing police gear and covering their faces, wearing masks, not showing warrants, not identifying themselves. This is what happens when the federal government just says, like, yeah, this is what we're going to do in mass around the country. Now, I'm not saying something like this has never happened before, but it is certainly going to be more common now with all that in mind, and it's going to be even harder to it could end a lot worse because Now, like, a couple years ago, you could make the argument, like, if you see a bunch of people with masks and bulletproof vests on and they have a badge, but like if they're not identifying themselves or whatever, like you could be like, yeah, that's something's fishy here. But now that's just happening. And I just can't get out of my head what happens when this happens with a bunch of ICE agents trying to raid a home. Now we've heard them raiding homes and breaking in without warrants and all this. So what happens when they do this and the homeowner defends themselves and kills two ICE agents? What is the federal government going to do? What is the law enforcement going to do to that homeowner? What is the Trump administration going to say? Are we going to change course? Like, we've opened up a can of worms, and I don't know where we go from here. If this isn't something that shows like, hey, maybe we should actually pass legislation, because there has been legislation that's just being like blocked in Congress by Republicans that's saying like all law enforcement personnel have to identify themselves and they can't wear face coverings. But yeah, so I don't know, man. This is scary, and I'd like to know your thoughts in the comment section. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.